I never got an opportunity to meet him or hear about him or anything. I met him for just some few minutes, and I walked away feeling like a different person. Let me. I want to take a breather, right? Is that okay? Can I breathe? Also, so he had a rich blend of legal experience. Having worked in several jurisdictions and capacities, he has started his career as a solicitor and a director of Lowerham Law Center in England. He went on to hold various positions within the legal profession. He moved to Ghana in 2010 and joined Opportunity International Savings and Loans Limited as the group head of legal and company secretary. He subsequently joined the Vodafone Ghana in October 2014 and was a group head and legal and company secretary until he stepped down to set up the Family Office Africa. He completed Ghana Bar School in 1999. I'm sure some of us were, All right. He holds a postgraduate diploma in risk and compliance. He also has an MBA in wealth management and finance, and is currently pursuing a PhD in business leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, all this to me sums one word. He is a thinker. Please, I want us to be on our feet. And I want you to give a rousing applause. I want the whole building to feel like you are giving a rousing applause. Help me welcome Mr. Theodore Albright. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Albright. Make some noise for Albright, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning. It's morning because today is the dawn of your breakthrough. That's why it's morning. You know, when you go onto Instagram, there's a gentleman there who has over 2 billion followers. I repeat, 2 billion followers. And for most of his life, he was a carpenter. And he started with a team of 12 people in a dusty little village called Galilee. 2,000 years later, he has 2 billion followers. 2 billion followers. And they weren't educated. In fact, most of them came from Choco. They were fishermen. All right. 12 people now have 2 billion followers. And he had one message, a singular message with just one word. Can anybody tell me what that one word was? No? No? It's not love, it's not salvation. Come on, just one word.
Go.
Sorry? No, it wasn't leadership.
Repent.
Repent. Repent. Repent. Repent. And repent in the Hebrew is change your mindset. Change your set mind. Change your mindset. Change your set mind. This young guy, 30 years old, all he did walking around in that just dusty little town said to people, change your mindset. Repent. And that was his message. Because if you don't change your mindset, you cannot succeed. And with that simple message, change your mindset. He has over 2 billion followers today. And so how you think and what you think is critical. Have you ever wondered why it is, if you're a Christian, it's not about what you do, but it's first and foremost based on faith. And what is faith? Your thinking. Your thinking. Your thinking. And so today, I have entitled my presentation, The Entrepreneur's Journey, Building Capacity. Building capacity. The surprising thing is that over 90% of people will say to you they want independence and they want to build their own businesses. But only about 10% of that 90% will ever go ahead to build the business. Now, there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is that less than 1% of those who actually engage in the business will prosper beyond 5 years. Why is that good news? It means that for those who are able to stomach and drive and go, they will become the heroes of their story, your story. And it's really important to know this. There's 7.8 billion people on the planet. Each one of us is different. Each one of us is different. There's never been one like you. There will never be another like you, ever. Please, for those of you who studied economics, what do you do with monopolies? If you have a monopoly, what do you do with it? Tell me, what do you do when you have a monopoly? Sorry. You exploit it. What do you do with it when you have a monopoly? You exploit your monopoly. It means each one of us here is different, unique, and we have something to offer the world that nobody else can deliver. I can't deliver what you deliver. I can't deliver what you deliver. You can't deliver what he delivers. Neither can he deliver. So we each have a unique opportunity to exploit our monopoly. But it means you have to be what? Different. Now that's a distribution curve for some of you. I just want to say the majority of us sit in the hump. That's the 90%. And then we have some on the edges. And those who succeed are normally those who are on the right side of the distribution curve. That minority. And that minority does things differently to everybody else. That minority, that is you in this room. You have to rebel against what is normal. You have to disrupt the normality that goes on. Why? Because if you do what everybody is doing, you will get what everybody is getting. It means that you have to be different. You have to disrupt. You have to rebel in a positive way. Now, many of us get into businesses for two reasons, or one of two reasons. We either want to be rich or we want control and make a difference. So you can be rich or a king or both. Impact. But entrepreneurship, and a lot of my colleagues have spoken about this, it's about your mindset, it's about your attitude, it's about being a change agent, it's about being a dreamer, it's about having a life style change. I'm really happy for you guys because you've embarked on the greatest adventure of your life, which is to make a difference, impact, significance, not only for yourself, but to leave a legacy on the planet. I want each one of you listening to me today to be the hero or the heroine of your own story. Your own story. You have autonomy, you're a monopoly, you choose. You choose how that story goes. But the one thing you need to know is that you cannot be like everybody else. Let that sink in. You cannot be a fake somebody when you can be a real you. You cannot be a fake somebody when you can be a real you. And nobody can copy you. Nobody, because you're a monopoly. But it means that you need to lead first yourself before you can lead others. This is my definition of leadership. At the very core of leadership, influencing, inspiring, informing first yourself, and then others to think better, to do better, to be better for positive impact and positive outcomes. So what's the recipe for success? Think better, do better, and be better. End of chat. Think better, do better, and be better for positive impact. And it's funny how this thing about thinking and mindset keeps, I promise you, I didn't share my slides with anybody, but we are all thinking around the same line. How you think absolutely impacts on your outcomes. And so if you have outcomes today that you're not happy with, it's not your actions. First and foremost, you need to check your thinking, because your thinking has a direct correlation with your outcomes. If you like your outcomes, improve your thinking. If you don't like your outcomes, improve your thinking. Newton's law. 1, an object at rest or in motion will continue to do so unless acted upon by an external force. That means that if you keep doing the same thing the same way, you will get the same result. If you don't like the results, then you need to do something different. And I will say you start with your mindset. You start with how you think. So let's look at thinking. Mind your thinking. It's not what you think you know, but it's how you think about what you know and what you don't know. I let that sink in for a bit. It's not what you think you know, but it's how you think about what you know and what you don't know. Can anybody tell me about this little circle here? In cognitive psychology, there's something known as bounded rationality. If you take the circle as the entire knowledge base in the known universe, our knowledge is pretty much one of those dots. It means that you will never have sufficient knowledge to grapple every bit of knowledge in the known universe. But it also means that you must expand your thinking. And if you don't, then yours will be the little dot in the middle as opposed to the whole of the knowledge in the known universe. Now, the ingredients for quality thinking is very small, so I'm just going to go through some of them. The first one is strategic thinking. Strategic thinking. And most of us think that execution is hard. And I'll say no. In fact, execution, the action, is not the hard bit. The hard bit is the strategic thinking. If you fail in execution, it is because you didn't think hard enough in your strategy. If you fail in execution, it means you did not anticipate what was going to come. And I'm going to be a little bit controversial and say this. To my mind, you should spend, hear me out, 80% of your time thinking and 20% of your time acting. I repeat, 80% of your time thinking and 20% of your time acting. 80% thinking, 20% action. And now that is a reversal of a known paradigm or a paradigm shift. Most people will say do 20% thinking, 80% acting. I say do the opposite. I say do the opposite. So strategic thinking, focused thinking. Take time out and do what I call telescope, microscope. Think wide. The telescope allows you to see far things near. The microscope allows you to see little bits closer. Think telescope for the future, microscope for the present. Next, I talk about envy thinking. And you're thinking, why would anybody do envy thinking? Envy is a sign that there is something lacking in your life. Whenever you see something that you're envious of or jealous of, it's telling you a message. And that message is, I wish I had. And so the next question you have to ask is, how can I learn from my envy? How can I learn from my envy? Inquiring thinking. Ask yourself, how can I do this better? Pessimistic thinking. What can go wrong? Optimistic thinking. What can go right? Learning thinking. Who else has done it? How did they do it? Can I copy? Metacognition. Thinking about my thinking. Thinking about my thinking. Most of us never think about our thinking. But if you're going to square the circle, because your thinking is your outcomes are a product of your thinking, then you need to look at your thinking and adjust it so that you get the outcomes you want. Strategy. Strategy is, how do I win this game? I know the outcomes I want, but how do I win it? This is my formula, and I'm going to share it with you. My formula is simply this. It's V2, C1, AM2, P1, S2. What's my vision for my life? What's my vision for my business? And trust me, if you don't have a picture of the vision for your business, you're not going to hit anything. What values are going to underline my business? The customer shouldn't be seen as a prospect. Build relationships. build trust, build solutions. Those are the values that you go for. What culture am I going to engage in? Is it, as for me, I'm tired, I am going to persevere, I am going to drive? What actions are you going to take? You need to document them and you need to take them. What is my mission in embarking on this business? You need to have a why. Because you have no why, then don't bother. Your why must be so strong that it doesn't matter what happens. Your why will always be there. I've always loved growing people, and that's why I'm here. And I will never run out of growing people. Do you know why? Simply because if I grow the collective base in this room, and I'm able to grow the collective base or a significant percentage in Ghana and on the continent of Africa, what do? We raise the level of living standards in perpetuity for the people in Africa. My target, my vision is to reach 500 million people on the continent of Africa. That's my target. And if I hit 100 million people with the message that we can transform our lives, we are monopolies, that we are walking on gold, we are walking on silver, we are walking on platinum, it's all under our feet. And it's always been there. Wasn't there a diamond in the ground before the white man came and told us we have diamonds? What we didn't know was the mindset to transform it. Wasn't there gold when the white man came to then Gold Coast and set foot in a small town called Elmina? First of all, he got there and saw gold everywhere, and he said, wow, this is a mine, Elmina. As he walked across, he says, wow, there's gold everywhere on the coast. We will call it what? Gold Coast. You know, God doesn't do things by chance. More than any continent in the known universe, Africa is the most blessed. More than any continent, landmass in the known universe, Africa is the most blessed. The only thing we lack is the knowledge to convert the wealth we have. That's all. And which one is easier to do? Huh? Go and find the wealth, have God plant it here, or get the mindset that says, let's convert it and make some money or wealth or create health out of it. When you go to the United Kingdom, the only natural resource they have is oil in Scotland. Why? The rest is just services, so banking services, technology services. So he has to run and come to Ghana to come and take your gold, silver, timber, bauxite. My friend, you are sitting and walking on gold. And you say you are not blessed. Huh? Huh? Even the Queen's crown has a diamond that was taken from India because they don't have diamonds in England. Please, do you see how blessed you are? Do you see how noble you are? You have more resources than the whole world put together. Why do you think the Chinese are coming here? Why do you think the Americans come here? Why do you think the British and the Portuguese and the Spaniards and the Belgians, they came to Africa? Why? Because all of the riches, more than you can ever dream of, are right under your feet. And all it takes is your thinking to convert what you have into value. So my mission is to make a difference so that you can make a difference. That's my aim. But you also need to have a model of business and understand business. We're not joking. If you want a hobby, go and ride a horse. If you want a hobby, go and ride a horse. And even that, people make money out of it and make a living out of it, sitting on horses and riding horses. You're here because you want to create value. You want to make impact. You want to be significant. And so you should understand business, first principle. What is the model of my business? Having done that, you have your plans. And then you have your strategy. And then lastly, you have a scorecard. 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 You need to register. Most of us went to primary schools. Kweku, present. Kwame, present. Why do we do that? We keep score of who is in the room. You need to keep score day in, day out of how many people you prospect, how many rejections you get, how many positives you get, how much money is coming in, etc., etc. Your vision for your life and for your business then is the best picture that you can create. What do I want? Please, don't come and sit here when you don't know what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, you will get anything. And when my brother spoke about awareness, there's something called reticular active system in the brain. The reason why Habakkuk says, write down the vision and it will run with you is because if you're not aware, when the opportunity comes, it will pass you by. So you need to know the vision and write it down. Why do you think God gave Moses tablets? He didn't even write it on paper. He wrote it on stone. And for the next leader, he said, meditate on it day and night, and you will know success. If you don't know your vision, you don't know where you're going. I wrote Pauter's 5 forces because in order to thrive in this business and in any other business, you have to ask yourself 5 questions. How easy is it to get into the business? How easy is it to get out? How do I make sure my customers, my clients stay? Stickiness. Who are my competitors? What are the alternatives? How much power does the buyer have? How much power does the supplier have? And that directly affects how you market. You go to market. You as an individual, and I'm not even talking about your business here, you need to ask yourself, me Kweku, what strengths do I have? Already I've told you that you are a monopoly. You are one man, one woman monopoly. And so you play to your strengths. You play to your opportunities. because nobody can replicate who you are. Look, there's a lawyer here in this room. We both born to Makola, and yet I can never replicate him, nor he me. Nor can I replicate any of the other speakers. And our individuality is not easy to replicate. And any business which is not easy to replicate earns economic profit. Any business that is not easy to replicate earns significant economic profit. And you are a walking monopoly. Ask yourself, how do I take advantage and exploit that monopoly? Your values, those are really important. Not only should you be imbibing Max's values, but you should be asking yourself the why question. What is the value that is driving me in this business? And if you don't have one, you need to sit and craft one. Am I lazy by nature? Am I active by nature? Do I read by nature? You know, culture. Culture is a significant enabler in every business. And how you shape your culture will determine how successful you will be. And in fact, Peter Drucker, who is a management consultant, once said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Because culture is an antidote to a certain chaos. So if you don't have a culture, routine, habit, it means you don't have the antidote to the chaos that will come, and it will surely come in your business life. What will you do? You should be writing that down. I will commit to ABC, and then make sure you do it and make sure you log it. Why do I want to do it? Your why is important. Your business model, what concept will I use? I just want to take you through this. Just ask yourself 9 questions. 1, what do I want to do? Max International. 2, who do I want to help? My customers. 3, how do I interact with my customers? High touch, high tech. Really important. 4, what do I need? Key resources that I can provide. 5, who are my partners? Max. 6, how do I reach them? 7, what is my revenue model? 8, how much is it going to cost me in time and resources? What is your value proposition? What is the value that you're bringing? Please, you're not selling supplements. Please, you are a lifestyle business. You are in the wellness life business. And when my sister said, health is wealth, more than ever, we know it now to be true. And so I want to tell you something. No, beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper. You prosper. And you cannot prosper without health. And so what are you in? More than the pastor, you are in the prosperity business. What plans? What steps? What actions are you going to take? They need to be clear. How do I execute? scoreboard. Kwata, kwata. Every single person in this room, please write this down. 1, how much money am I getting? 2, you are marking this register. 1, how much money am I making? 2, how many people am I touching? 3, how many people am I contacting? 4, how many people how well am I growing? And that is just an elementary scoreboard that you can use for your business. If you don't score yourself, you won't know when you hit the target. And I think one of the most effective, easy ways to check whether you're on board or not on board is to have a scoreboard that you review every day. This is a balanced scorecard, finance, customer, learning, internal business processes. Just an example of a scoreboard. I put this here because I want to ask you, do you monitor your learning? Do you monitor how well you are learning? How many books have I read? Have I experimented? Have I gone through a cycle? My sister here was talking about the cycle, the dips and the peaks and the troughs. Do you monitor that? Sometimes you need to be different and you need to do things differently. You can ask yourself, in my business, what can I reduce? In my business, what can I create? In my business, what can I eliminate? And in my business, what can I increase so that I win? What can I raise? What can I eliminate? What can I reduce? What can I create? McKinsey 7S. McKinsey is the most successful consultancy firm in the world. And they came up with a basic model. 7 things I need to ask myself if I want to succeed in my business. I need to ask myself, do I have a strategy? Do I have shared values? Do I have systems? Do I have the skill? Do I have the support? Do I have what leadership style do I have? Do I have a vision? Do I have structure? Again, how do I operate? Do I operate with excellence? Am I innovative? Do I operate with intimacy with my clients? Business is relationship. Relationship is business. But don't see your clients as prospects. How do I grow? What's working? What's not working? What could work for me? You need to ask those questions. Who can I sell more to? Who can I introduce new products to? Which new people can I give the old products to? Which new people can I give the new products to? Those are questions that you should ask yourself at least once a month. Who have I touched? Who haven't I touched? How do I touch them? How do I reach them? Really critical, really important. 11 E's. At every given point, who do I engage? How do I envision my business? How do I make inquiries? How do I equip myself? How do I empower others? How do I excite my customers? How do I ensure continuity? How do I evaluate myself? How do I elevate my business? How do I execute what I promised to do? And ultimately, how do I enforce all the promises that I've made to myself? You know, for those of you who are in the church or go to church, typically we say we're going for evangelism, outreach. Then you engage them, then you disciple them, and then once they are discipled and you've upskilled them, you send them out. This is the model that young man from Galilee, who is 30 years old, who has 2-point-something billion followers on Instagram. How do I reach out? Venture. How do I capture my clients? How do I nurture them, school them in what the benefits are? And how do I elevate them so that they are enraptured by the product, by the conversations we have? Not only do you need to think better, not only do you have to strategize, but you need to learn to lead yourself and lead others. And if you cannot lead yourself, I'm sorry, you cannot lead anybody else in this business. And so I repeat Theodore Albright's definition: at the very core, leadership is influencing, inspiring, informing who? Myself, and then others to think better, to do better, to be better for positive impact and positive outcomes. And the information, you know, when my brother Raymond was speaking, he kept referring to books and books and books. And my sister came and said, you must read, and you must read. And my brother came and said, you need awareness and awareness. And none of that comes if you sit and you don't fish for new information. It's quite interesting. That young man from Galilee, whenever he was challenged, do you know what he said? It is written. It is written. It is written. Do you know what that means? The guy was reading, man. The guy was reading, man. The guy was reading. Huh? His first encounter. Huh? If you are, turn it into bread. Immediately, the man's read. He has filled his mind. He's aware. So he already has the answer. Please, don't wait for the chaos to come before you start looking for answers. It's too late. You should have the answer in preparation for the chaos, because the chaos will definitely come. Do any of you measure the rate of your strategic evolution? Do any of you measure the rate at which you change? Because, Master, if you don't change, you will die. Huh? What does Nietzsche say in his third law? He says, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. If you are looking for a reaction, then there must be what? An action. Otherwise, nothing happens. Otherwise, nothing happens. How frequently do I change? How frequently do I grow? How frequently do I grow strategically? This is a purpose matrix. It's a metric that I use to measure 7 areas of my life. my physical goals, my ultimate utility goals, my impact, my relationship goals, my money goals, pay goals, my occupational options goals, my spiritual goals, and my erudition or educational goals. And I have them for short term, I have them for medium term, I have them for long term, and I have them for life term, forever and a day. And every single one of you in this room must have a purpose goal. When you put it all together, that's your purpose. That's your purpose. Do you know your purpose? Do you know your purpose? Especially as you are a monopoly, you are placed here to push back the chaos. Because only you can push back that chaos. Because there's nobody like you. Have you seen these questions before? Has anybody seen these questions before? Nadia, I'm going to ask you. Have you seen these questions before? Where did you see them?
In books. I've seen them in books. I've heard them asked by.
Look at these questions and tell me where you saw them. Where are you? Who told you? What have you done?
A typical setting would be a work environment.
Let me help you. These are the first three questions God asked Adam. These are the first three questions God asked Adam. Where are you with your goals? Where are you with your plan? Where are you with your life? Geographically, philosophically, socially, where are you? That was the question I was asked. And then he said, I am naked. Who told you? What voices have you been listening to? I can't do it. I am weak. I am discouraged. Huh? Which voices have you been listening to? Who told you? Huh? And what have you done? What have you done? No, she should stand there. What have you done? What have you done? What have you done? What are you doing? What have you done? What have you done? What have you done? So the question is for all of us. Where are you with your goals? Where are you with your ambition? Where are you with your plans? Where are you with your plans? Where are you? Who is telling you that you can't do it? Who is telling you that you are weak? Who is telling you that you were not born, you were born in Manprobi or Choko, so you can't do it? Hey, as for me, I don't have the brofu. Who told you? You know, when you follow this, when you have the time, go and read it again. He said, and I make you the conqueror. Subdue it. Multiply. Dominate. Those are the words that were used. Those were the words that were used. And from Genesis chapter 1 to Revelation 22, the story is about chaos to conquest. Chaos to conquest. Chaos to conquest. And right at the beginning of the story, you are the conqueror. Ask yourself, what is it in my life that I need to avoid in order to succeed? What is it in my life that I need to accept in order to succeed? What is it in my life that I need to adopt habits in order to succeed? I'll share something with you. Does the number 24168-86400 mean anything to anybody? 24168-86400. 24168-86400. 24 hours, 160 hours, 8,640 hours in a year. Your life. And if you're lucky enough to live to 100, it's 86400. That's all. That's all the time you have, folks. And so I share a habit that I've adopted, which is I take my 24 hours and I ask myself, how much of that time can I invest in me? How much of that time can I spend producing? How much of that time can I use to engage? And how much of that time can I use to reflect? And for me, I'm going to share it with you. I'm not ashamed to say I either wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning and spend 3 to 4 hours just reading to invest in my life. I spend 8 to 9 hours producing, that is work. So if you call me in the morning, it's not about work, I will bounce you to 6 o'clock. That is where I engage. And then I spend the rest of my time, if I want to relax or reflect, watching TV or writing my journals, I do it at the end of the day. I just want to give you some structure which you can adopt. How much time do you invest in your life so that you can produce better, so that you can think better, be better, do better for positive impact and positive outcomes? Invest, produce, engage, reflect. It means that if you're going to go onto social media, you do that after 6 o'clock and not before, unless it's for work. It means that if somebody's going to come and share gossip with you, you bounce them to 6 o'clock and not before. But you focus on growing your minds and growing your business. You know, when you take the 80-20 rule, 20% of the world's population own over 80% of the world's wealth. 20% own 80%. When you extrapolate it, you will find that about 0.5% own about 15% of the world's wealth. 3 or 4 years ago, in a small village, there's a tradition that takes place in a small village in Switzerland called Davos in January. There are about 50 people there, and those 50 people had more money than the 3 billion bottom of the population on Earth. That's the distribution curve. The question is, what do they do differently? How do they think or not think? Warren Buffett once the richest man in the world, one of the wealthiest men in the world, has a friend called Charlie Munger, his business partner. And Charlie Munger says, tell me where I will die so I don't go there. Listen, tell me where I will die so I don't go there. What is in effect saying, tell me what the 99% do so I don't do it. It means you need to do things totally different to everybody else in Ghana if you're going to succeed. Massa, waking up at 3 o'clock is not easy. Huh? Not watching Netflix is not easy. Brother Raymond will tell you, I have physically over 2,500 hard copy books in my library. Nobody helped me. I bought it with my own money. When I calculate, I could be in a Benz instead of a Bobo Hyundai. But it's a choice. It means that nobody on the planet out of the 7.8 billion people can come and intimidate me when it comes to archaeology, philosophy, sociology, history, economics, business. It doesn't matter what it is. Makai. And that gives you the confidence to change nations. About 1% own about 15% of the world's wealth. What they do is what you must copy, not what the 99% do. The 99%, Charlie, they chill. There is nothing that kills my soul, and I'm saying this on air, I probably get slaughtered. There is nothing that chills my soul more than when I go to somebody's house and they're watching Kukumbaja. Bloody hell! What's wrong with you? Oh, Charlie!
Oh my goodness.
If you're going to be a leader, you must first lead yourself.
Mm.
And it is only after that that you can start to create leaders. Look, leaders don't have followers. So leaders create leaders. Mrs. A, they don't have followers. So if you are not creating leaders, then you are a leader. You might have a title, you might have a position. You create leaders, and you do that by helping people think better, do better, be better for positive impact and positive outcomes. Typically, you have to work in a team. And working in a team, just like a marriage, it takes some adjustments. But that is the best way you can grow. If Jesus had a team, if Muhammad had a team, then you must have a team too. And you will go through this forming, storming, norming, and you'll come out performing. You can't do it alone. Don't do it alone. Do it in a team. Why? Because you don't want to reinvent the wheel. The greatest tragedy that I've seen in my lifetime, I spend a lot of time in Egypt because that's where my family lives. And every time I go there, I see the pyramids. And you know, in this modern day and age, nobody knows how they built the pyramids because they didn't do what? Document it. And what did my brother say? Whatever you're doing, document it. They didn't document it. So nobody knows how the pyramids were built. Do it in a team. I'm going to finish off by saying you're multidimensional. You have a mind, you have a body, and you have a soul. Make sure you feed all three dimensions. Your mind, your body, and your soul. And when you take MBS, you end up with my best self. I'll finish off by saying Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was void, and the Spirit of the Lord was hovering over the deep. And when you read that, you see chaos. There was darkness. There was no form. It says the earth was formless. There was darkness, no form, no systems, no structure. Then it said, let there be light. Because light sheds clarity. Light gives you clarity. So all of us, as heroes of our journey, we need to move from chaos to clarity. We need to move from clarity to the challenge. We need to move from the challenge to the culture. The culture is the antidote to the chaos. We need to move from the culture to the choices we make. We need to move from the choices we make, which form us and form our character. And then we move on to capturing the terrain and the territory we want. That gives us control. We become conquerors, which is our destiny anyway. And you become the heroes of your respective stories. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been my privilege. Make some noise, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. That's what I'm talking about, my privilege.
Wow.
It's been my privilege. It's my privilege. Thank you. Woo! Wow. Aren't we blessed? All right, so we would have the chance to ask some few questions, but right before that, some quick announcement. Corporate has arranged for some few